Hi, it's Monday afternoon and I'm standing at the end of Old Road, or whatever it's called here, just short of the bridge across the ring road. A few weeks ago I went round the base of Shotover Hill along a private road called the Ridings, and then when I came out of the woods tried to go in a particular direction and couldn't because there was a lot of water in the way. I'm going to try that again, and if the water has now disappeared I'll take the route that I was going to before and show you where that ends up. So I'll link to the video that I took before. This part of the route is nothing new. You've seen me cross the ring road. Or seen and heard, given the traffic. This is the ring road, and I'm clutching my phone holder ferociously because I don't want it mangled under the wheels of 1,000 cars. Ring Road South. Ring Road North. Not very inspiring, is it? The forecast was for less cloud than this, but unfortunately it's quite a bit gloomier than they said. Yep, this is still called Old Road. Or at least that part is. I wonder whether it officially turns round that point. There may be a lot of wind noise. I can feel a very brisk breeze. Don't know what that is. So this is the Ridings. Shotover Hill proper is up there. If you go along there, you get to a road or a track over the top of Shotover Hill, the ridge, and then it comes down again, more or less mirroring this side, with posh houses on the other side, and then you end up in a village called Wheatley. I'm not going to do that today, though I have. The road sounds noisier than normal, the ring road I mean, and I think that must be because the wind is blowing towards me. So now I start getting into the woods. There are paths up to Shotover Hill on the left and paths into some nice woods that go all the way to the ring road on the right. And I used one of those last time when I couldn't go the direction I wanted to. And that's one of the tracks up to Shotover. Those are those equisatum horsetails that I talked about. The things that are sort of sisters to ferns, and that once upon a time during the Carboniferous era were much bigger and more important than the poor things are now. It's a shame they didn't have a replica of one in the University Museum. Now I hope he's not going to insist on trying to push me into the stinging nettles, because people do. These are the names of some of the posh houses. Elderwick House, Wolf House, Mulberry House, Shotover Heights, The Orchard, Shotover Cleeve Cottage, Shotover Cleeve, Ridings End, Willow House and Watch Hill. Why Wolf House, for goodness sake? Are they saying that there used to be wolves here? That's one track down through a somewhat wild looking part of the woods. I can't help visualising that bear. I think it was an American black bear that I saw in the museum on Saturday. The image has sort of got stuck in my mind, and I keep imagining it coming through the trees. I have actually been to a country where there are still bears, namely Romania. There always were, but Ceausescu liked to play the part of the great white hunter, and he had bears bred, and they were protected in that nobody except him and probably a few of his mates were allowed to hunt them. And I believe by the time he was executed, there were something like 100,000 pairs of bears. I've got a Romanian friend, and I remember him explaining to me how a bear will just run its paws down your front like that and open you. And it's apparently quite difficult to know what to do with bears. If they have cubs, then obviously they're protective of the cubs. So possibly the thing to do is to slink past them, hoping to make as little noise as possible so that they don't hear you. On the other hand, you might then startle the bear. Whichever way you argue it, and I've seen this in several books, there doesn't seem to be any foolproof way of making sure that you don't get horribly mangled. Though, at least most people would not do what Bill Bryson, I suppose you'll probably have heard of Bill Bryson, the travel writer. He wrote books with titles like Down Under, Notes from a Small Island, and Neither Here Nor There. And I think it's the book on walking the Appalachian Trail, hiking the Appalachian Trail. He describes how a mother smeared honey on the hand of her 12-year-old boy and then put it near the muzzle of a bear. Not sure why there was a bear there. Maybe it was a wild bear that was wandering around town, or maybe it was in a zoo. But anyway, she did, and the bear ate the hand. Don't do that. It's not a good idea. But anyway, I have been possibly uncomfortably close to bears. And I've been up on the top of a mountain where the shepherds keep their flocks in little enclosures called stinner, and they have dogs to protect against the bears. And I remember a friend of my friend saying, he'll probably get eaten, you know, but he has his freedom, and that's what's important. Still, I got my own back. There's a lovely old town called Brasov, Brasov, which I recommend, thoroughly recommend. And there is a restaurant somewhere near it in an area called Poyana Brasov, the fields of Brasov, called the Kaliba Haiduchilor, which I think translates as something like the outlaws' hideout. And I went there, and there was bear on the menu, bear pastrami. So although the bears didn't get me, I got one of them. Not that I would do that as a regular thing. I have to say that bear pastrami tastes pretty good with red wine, but I'm pretty much vegetarian. And you can't buy bear in Sainsbury's anyway. Lots of bracken. That's what I call one of the calm paths. That part of the wood is very manicured and not really wild at all. And I find it a very calm sort of place to be in. I'm not so keen on the wild woods like the one round Hinksey Heights golf course. That goes up to Shotover Hill, and there's a meadow between us and the Shotover Hill trees. That's another path down through the woods, rather wilder, and it does get boggy in unsuspected places, so watch out. I can't help thinking that doing this sort of thing must affect my memory in some way, because I must have stored the locations of umpteen puddles, fences, stiles, patches of grass that you can step over a marsh with, and all sorts of other things that most people wouldn't have cluttering up their minds. Right, I think this is the route that I took before. Again, more trees and Shotover. Getting a bit less gloomy now, and it is also incredibly warm. Feels like a blanket. I think it's pretty humid. So just to recap, I'm pointing roughly south. And over in that direction is the village of Horspath. And I'm pretty sure that this is where I tried to cross last time. And despite the farmer having tried to churn it up with his tractor, I'm okay. It's that dry. Horspath starts a bit over there, sort of halfway up the hill, and then slopes down. And there's a road connecting it to the boundaries of Oxford. And this is where I wanted to go last time but couldn't. But I'm sorry to say that one remark that I made has come true. I said that the council, or whoever maintains this, would probably cut the grass in a few weeks' time so that there wouldn't be all the lovely long wavy grass anymore. There'd just be this, and there is just this. It's so much nicer before they cut it. Well, anyway, let's see what lies beyond. I can't speak for all residents of Oxford, but I suspect that this is as remote from the average student's experience as Ulaanbaatar. Right, over there, yeah, you should just be able to see a house or two. That's Horspath. And it's big enough to have at least one pub, or one pub combined with a restaurant. And I do apologise for the wind noise. It's so strong in my ears that I'm sure something will come through my baffles on the phone. That long, blocky, white on brown brick building, I can't remember what it is, but it's on the road that connects Horspath to the boundaries of Oxford. Useful landmark. Good, well we have some nice sun, so please add this video to your canned sunshine for winter watching links list. One of the things you note in Oxford is just how many types of green space there are and how they connect and interpenetrate. Afternoon. There's the long building again, much closer now. That to the left is traffic going along the Horspath Oxford Road that I mentioned. The noise, I mean. You wouldn't believe it, but even on a road this big, they don't have any properly safe crossing points, and you can't walk the verge on that side because it's overgrown. They paved this side, but not the other side, and they didn't do anything to make the crossing safe. Horspath Sports Ground towards Cowley. There's more of that fluff thistle. Is it? Yes, that I saw yesterday walking out of the parks. So here is Oxford. Welcome to the city of Oxford, a cycling city twinned with Leiden, Netherlands, Bonn, Germany, Lyon, Nicaragua, Grenoble, France, Wrocław, Poland, Ramallah, Palestine, and Padua, Italy. Okay, so here's the boundary of Oxford. So I have officially not been in Oxford. Well, this is the Stagecoach bus depot. And there's an alternative path that goes through that meadow further to the right and comes out at the back of the bus garage. And this is a historically important part of Oxford, though I think much less than it used to be. Various bits of British Leyland factory used to border the road from near Headington to here. A lot of them have now gone, but there seems to be some mini-related business left. Otherwise, it's like a small and rather disorganised business park. There's one of Oxford's main taxi companies, 777333. There's Chris Lewis, who I think is locks and security. That is the mini visitor centre. ODS is Oxford Direct Services. That's part of the council, or maybe subcontractors used by them. This is awkward because the only safe crossing across the road is on this side, but there's no safe way to get to this side. And this is also one of these things where you have to cross about 5 lanes, and they're all timed so that you end up waiting 5 minutes to do so. Again, the traffic planners haven't given any thought to the fact that while the average driver can sit and relax on a nice comfy seat, the average walker might be getting soaked, lugging around heavy shopping, or just tired, or, as happened to me once at the top of Harcourt's Hill, got cramp after having to do running on the spot in the house because it was too wet to do running not on the spot outside. Now you have to repeat the whole thing. you saw how long that took. I'm not sure how many streams of traffic I had to wait for, but I think it was 3. So how long did it take to cross just the one lane? And then how long did it take to cross the other lane? And then how long did it take to cross the little one that I started with? And finally, how unsafe was it to cross to the side of the road that I had to use where all those lanes, where the crossings started from? So now I'm heading back towards the centre of Oxford. Some way to go yet. The first stage is to go alongside Cowley Road. And I think I'll end up at the end of Barracks Lane, which I walked part of in the video where I came over the golf course. This is a more straightforward route in that I don't have the golf course in the way. One of the few pubs out here that still survives. and it's 4 o'clock. I think it's roughly an hour since I got onto the ridings. That is a council van. I mentioned ODS earlier. They have the slogan, "Doing Good." Right, so I was right. I'm crossing Hollow Way, which I wouldn't be surprised is a reference to the quarrying that used to go on around here. And I'm now walking down Barracks Lane. So I'm now facing roughly west. So just to recap, today I walked out from the centre of Oxford and then along Old Road to the end. Most of that walk I didn't show, but you've seen it on a previous video. Then I walked along across the Ring Road as before, and down along the Ridings round the base of Shotover Hill as before. And then I exited from the wood and walked along a path alongside the meadow as before, but I was able to pass this time and go into the meadow and then come out at the sports ground and then walk along the rest of the Horspath to Oxford Road and come out by the Stagecoach depot and the mini plant. And then fight the traffic and then go along that residential road and then get onto Barracks Lane, which is here. That, I'm fairly sure, is one of the paths out from the golf course. And just for a change, let's see where this goes. So I'm now coming off Barracks Lane. I haven't videoed this stretch before, and I also don't know what the stream is called. I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with the special wetland area, Lay Valley. I'll do that sometime. Lye Valley, sorry. That's nice. In fact, this is very nice, generally. I always like these little paths through the middle of estates which are planned to be shady, greeny, attractive to look at, no trouble to walk along. Good, so I've come out further south than Barracks Lane with an alternative path up to Holloway. Just there. And if I carry on, I will pass the council depot, pass a pub called the Marsh Harrier, which is worth supporting because it's one of not very many around here that's still going, and they have made an effort to be attractive and pleasant to drink in. Can't remember what beers they have. Craft beers. And I'm now walking along Marsh Lane to Cowley Road. And maybe the name again indicates just how much water there is in some parts of Oxford. This is Cowley Road. And in this part, it's mainly residential. The part of Cowley Road that has all the restaurants and the eastern shops is some way up there. And I don't think you've seen this region from me before. The vibe around here would appear to be poets. We've passed Milton Road and we're just passing Shelley Road. And we've now passing Reliance Way, but there was no poet called Reliance. I think it's the name of a type of bus or a bus engine, and this used to be a bus depot, now flats. Tattoo, I think, under the name Lionel's Tattoo Lionel's Tattoo Studio. It's been there for many years. Majestic Wine Warehouse. And I'm now coming up to the old Regal cinema, the Art Deco building I've pointed out before, that is now a Christian Life Centre. And you've seen how that joins up with the western end of Cowley Road, the one with all the restaurants. So I'll end the video when I get to the Regal. So to say again, I started off today by walking to the Ring Road where it hits Shotover along Old Road, though most of that isn't shown in the video. Probably took about an hour, I wasn't really counting. Then I went a little way up Shotover, but only just enough to get onto the ridings and turn right round the bottom of the hill. I went through the woods, following a path that I've done before, and then I followed the same path a little bit further out of the woods and was able to carry on, this time getting to a meadow that led me to the Horspath Sports Ground. And then from there I was able to get onto the Horspath Road, which I walked along to the boundary with Oxford, saw the Stagecoach depot, saw the mini plant, and then walked back along a residential road and to Barracks Lane, and then turned off, which is why I'm here. Any questions? Belvedere Road.
చెప్పినాడు నేను ఆల్రెడీ మామయ్యకి పంపిస్తాను నాకు
So that is the Regal on Cowley Road, and I'll see you next time. Bye.